Hey, it's Vicki with My Paper Connection, and allergies are acting up. I always like to start with something that is inspirational, and today I've been kind of camping out in Bob Goff's Live in Grace, Walk in Love lately. And on today's particular devotion, my very favorite scripture, which is my life scripture, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 was featured. And the little title thing he has up here, he says, God has a wide angle view of your life. Don't let your focus get so narrow that you miss the beautiful picture that he sees. And it's so easy with everything that we have going on right now, just to see this pandemic, just to see that we're quarantined or sheltered in place. And it seems like because we don't really have an end of when this is going to be over, it feels like we're just stuck here and this is all that we see. Excuse me, but God sees a way bigger picture than we do. He sees all the pieces that are there that need to be put together. He has the box to the puzzle that we don't see. And so we just have to trust him with all our heart, and we don't lean on our own understanding. That in all our ways we'll acknowledge him, and he will direct our paths in everything that it is that we do. So anyway, that's my word of encouragement today. Even though we can't see it, trust him because he sees the bigger picture. And he is worthy of trusting, and he will take care of us. All right, so I always like to do happy mail every week. Hopefully I can get my throat to get straightened out with all these allergies. My dear friend Dorothy sent this to me. Thanks a bunch. This is from the beautiful bouquet. It's really pretty. This is from my friend Jenny Watson. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's from the poppies. This is from my friend Rhonda with an H. Isn't that pretty? Look at, and these letters here, the H-E-L-L-O, is actually embossed. It's really pretty. Okay, this one is Rhonda without an H. She's part of my Uplines group. Hi, Kay. It's really pretty though. She used the Tropical Oasis, and it looks like she did the sponging on those little plumerias like I showed you a couple weeks ago. And then I got this one today from my sweet friend Tanya, and I love it. This is also from the poppies. Tonight we're going to be playing around with colorful seasons. Which, if you caught my YouTube video yesterday, that was this card. Although I did You Are Wonderful or Thinking of You or something like that for the sentiment. It looks difficult, but it's a really easy card to make. And I'll give you a sneak peek. This is a peekaboo that's held together with a bow up here. And it has a little Adirondack chair, and it's got the little green cherry blossoms. I'm thinking way outside the box on this one. But this will be Saturday's video. I want to show you something else. I actually had a friend that comes to my classes normally ask me about doing to-go classes. So I've been crafting all day, and I came up with cards for a to-go class. And I'm going to be offering this really soon. I'll have it in my emails. I'll have it on my website. I'll probably mention it in a video pretty soon. But here's from Ornate Gardens. This is 2 of them. And whether you have the stamp set or not, you could make these. Here's 2 more. And they're basically the same. I'm just using different papers with them. And here's the other 2. So those I will have available. It'll be 6 cards. I'm thinking it's going to be about $20 for just the card kit with the video and PDF. But anyway, I'll tell you more about that in my website, emails, and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my finger on the camera, and I'm going to go ahead and get started crafting with you guys, okay? Okay, so tonight, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to make this card, and I'm going to use the watercolor pencils. I don't know why I'm so out of breath, y'all. Okay, so basically what I'm going to start with, the Night of Navy, and there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to scribble across here like this a bit. Then I'm going to come in with the Pacific Point. I'm going to bleed into it a little bit and then go further down. Then I'm going to go with Balmy Blue. Again, a little bit into it. Then I have the Coastal Cabana. Just kind of mixing those colors a bit. And then I'm coming in with, whew, that's quite a contrast, isn't it? Okay, now what I'm going to do is to take my blender pen and I'm going to just blend those colors together. Now, I did not use watercolor paper on this. I wanted to emboss it, and so I'm going to take a light hand with it. But the blender pen, as you can see, just kind of takes those colors and just kind of blends those watercolors right together. Just changes the whole look of it, right? I don't know if I'm crazy about that granny apple green there at the bottom. And then all you have to do is you just rub it off like that, and it will get those colors off. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, and hopefully it won't shake too much, but I'm bringing my Big Shot in. This is my die cutting machine, and I am going to, first of all, emboss it. Hopefully you can see that. See if I can lift it up a little bit. Okay, so this is my Subtles embossing folder. I love the effect of embossing. It just changes the look entirely of a piece. And this is one of the thicker ones. Let's see. I'm trying to think if this is going to fit. We have about 3 different sizes. That's not going to fit. Let me take this one plate out. There we go. Sorry about shaking it. Okay. I'm going to put this back, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this thin die adapter with the bottom plate back in, and I'll show you the appearance that you get. Isn't that pretty? You can see the subtlety of it, of the mesh, not mesh, but I don't know what you call it. It's really pretty though. And then I'm going to take my leaf die cut, and I'm going to put it right there in the middle. I'm going to run it back through, and I'm just going to cut that leaf out. Get this out of the way. Okay, so what I have now is a hole in the middle of my paper, and it kind of is, there's a gap there where the color's at, and I'm just going to, let's see, I'm going to put some of the bones of my dimensionals on the back here. Y'all, I'm so glad I was able to figure the whole phone camera thing out from last week. That was so frustrating. Nothing like whenever you're trying to get your computer or whatever to work and do things, and it's just not working with you. Okay, I really just wanted to pop this up a little bit so that you could tell that there was a difference in between this piece and the Balmy Blue piece. Okay, I normally fast forward through all this part, so you're not watching me just do all this on a video. So just talk amongst yourselves. Hope everybody's had a great day. I've gotten a lot accomplished today. It was so pretty this morning. I actually got to sit out on my patio, or my deck under the gazebo, and have my devotions this morning. It was so nice. Okay, I'm hopefully going to get this straight. It's hard when you can't lean in to do it. I'm afraid my head's going to get in there. Okay, can you kind of see how you have that little hollow spot right there now because of the Whisper White being popped up on dimensionals? Then I'm just going to take my Tombow glue, put it on the back of it. And put this on top of my Night of Navy cardstock. Then I'm going to bring my Night of Navy ink in. And I've been doing a whole lot of thinking of you cards lately. I don't know about you guys, but I just have felt like that's the one thing that I can do other than pray during this time frame, I can send cards to people. So I'm just going to put thinking of you there on my little strip. And then I'm just going to cut that off. Cut it off right here too, so it's a little bit more even. I will pop that up on dimensionals. Love, love, love dimensionals. I'm going to put it up at the top. Right up here. And look at that leaf. Isn't that pretty with the diagonal and the colors in it? It's so pretty. Love it. And it has that texture as well. And I'm just going to pop it right about in here. And then I'm just going to take some of my baker's twine, double it up. I'm going to make a bow. So now, and I probably have more than I really need, but it's okay. So I'm going to make a bunny ear and another bunny ear. I'm going to take that bunny ear over, tuck it in through right there, just like you do when you're tying your shoes, and then pull it. Then it looks like a mess, but it really isn't. So then you just take your knot and hold it, and then you pull those tails tightly. Tighten it up, pull them again, and yes, I'm wasting a lot right here. It's okay though. This is actually a really good deal on this baker's twine. Then I'm going to take a glue dot with my finger and just kind of roll it up. And Cheyenne probably knows what I'm thinking right about now as I say I roll that up. Because she was at one of my classes when I explained what to do with it. And I'm just going to place it right there. And now I'm going to trim the tails off. I don't like to trim the tails off until I actually have it secured because it's like I'm chasing it all around. I think I need to trim it a little bit more. Whoops. And, oh, good grief. Ta-da! There you go. Now I could probably put some embellishments or something like that on it, but I really don't think it needs it with this really pretty leaf on it. All right, so that's my first project there. Now I'm going to do another one, and it's basically the same way, but instead of using color pencils, I'm actually going to use ink. This is the next one that I'm going to do, and I'm using an aqua painter with ink to do it. So I'm going to start out with my balmy blue. Let me get this stuff out of the way, clean up my area a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of balmy blue onto my block, and then I'm going to take my aqua painter and just kind of squish that around a little bit, swish it around. I'm going to test it on my paper first because I don't want it, yep, that's going to be perfect. Okay, because this is not water paper, I'm just going to kind of lightly go along like this. And that's all I'm going to do with that one. Okay, so then I'm going to take the balmy blue, put it out of the way. Now I'm going to use Pool Party, which is another really color of blue. And I'm just going to get a little bit on the tip right there. Do the same thing, wet it, bring it in. I mean, I've had quite enough on there. Has a little bit different hue. If I rub it too much more with the water though, it's going to bead up and I don't want it to do that. All right, so now, wipe that off. Now I'm using mint macaron. I'm just going to come in here like this and go a little bit further down. Okay. Now Pear Pizzazz. Let me wipe this off. I can't wait to show you the next project. I'm really excited about that one. Hopefully I can recreate it. I've only done it the one time, but I think I'll be able to. Okay. I love watercolor painting. I'm not very good at just freehanding. I have a friend that is an artist, and she carries a little diary book around with her, and she does her diary by sketching and doing watercolor. It's amazing. She is something else. Thank you, Jean. Jan says, can you use alcohol instead of water in the painter? Yes, you absolutely can. And it will dry faster if you do that. I chose not to this time around. I'm going to bring my Big Shot back in really quickly. Yeah, it will dry faster if you do that. Works really well. Okay, again, I am going to use my embossing folder. This Subtles is probably my favorite embossing folder that we have. Hopefully you can see it and I don't shake it too much. All right, here we go. When you use your embossing folder, you always want to put the binder, I don't know what you would call it. In a book, it would be the binding, the crease. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. You always want to put the crease going in first because it can actually break your card if you don't, or your embossing folder if you don't. Now I'm going to put the thin die adapter back in, my bottom plate, my piece of Whisper White, and my die. Move it up just a little bit. And now I'm just going to run it back through. Sorry about the bouncing. Maybe I'll get all the components of all of this figured out someday. There's a lot. Okay, get that out of the way. All right, I'm not going to use the leaf right this minute, but look at those subtle colors. Isn't that pretty? I really like the subtle colors. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to pop it up, the Whisper White part, I'm going to pop it up using dimensionals along the edge because I want to have that look that it has that, I don't know what you call it, the depth maybe? That may be what I'm looking for. I'm loading it up, aren't I? Okay. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of the best tricks I have ever learned. Taking these dimensionals off with the take your pick tool. That one didn't go. Doesn't want to come off. I think I put too many picks on it. All right, this one and that one. All right, so now I'm going to put this on top of soft sea foam. Right here. And then I'm going to wrap it with mint macaron ribbon. I've got to chase down my glue dots though. And my Harry Carey state earlier, they flew off the counter. All right, so you know my trick if you've watched me very often. I do not wrap it all the way around usually. I put a glue dot on the side, and then I come back around on this side, I'll trim it. And then I'll take a glue dot and put it on the other side of the ribbon, right there. Then I always want to make sure that it's even in the front. I think I want to move it up just a tad. It's got enough glue on it, it'll stick. Okay, that'll work. Now I'm going to make my little bow. Oh, Cheyenne, I missed my classes too. Thank you, Kim, that's the word I was looking for. All right, so I just do the bunny ear and the bunny ear and then tuck it through. Yeah, I miss my Thursday night classes too. It's so much fun getting to hang out with the sweet ladies. All right, now I'm going to take my glue dots. Again, I love glue dots. I think I'm going to put it on this side this time. Place it right there, and then just trim it. I must have some goo on my scissors. Now just tighten it up. That's better. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue this on and put it on top of my mint macaron cardstock. I'm not doing the insides of these. In these, I actually did do the inside. All three of them, I actually ended up stamping a leaf with the design, the outline of it. And I love it. It's really pretty. But I'm not going to take the time to do that today. Okay, so now I'm going to get my mint macaron back out. And my Thinking of You back out. And I'm just going to stamp a sentiment. There we go. I don't know about you guys, but when I cut my paper, I keep these things. I don't keep all of them because it's too many. But I keep a good many of them. And I use them, just like I'm using them today. Anytime you're cutting the fronts for your cards or the insides for your cards, just keep a few of those on hand. And then you can use them for sentiments if they're small. Hi, Sandra. Yes, I could. I may do that. When I put white in there. That's a really good idea, to put the die cut leaf on the inside. That way it's not going to waste. I used it, I don't know if you saw earlier, I used it on this card, but I didn't want to do that on this one. All right, so now I'm just going to put Thinking of You down here in the bottom. So it's just a very simple card, but really pretty, I think. Okay, this is the last one that I'm going to do for you guys. I have like the little pieces for dimensionals everywhere. All right, so what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to take, let me take my note real quick so I make sure that I know what I'm doing. Mint macaron, and I am going to take it across. Now you have to do it on this end, not the side that has the ridge right here. But then you just take it and go across your paper like this. Just like that. I may have done it a little too dark, but it's okay. Then I am going to use the soft seafoam. Is that the one I use next? No, Pear Pizzazz is what I use next. And I'm just going to go along, try to make sure that I'm going right in the right area. And just go down like that. That didn't come out quite the way my other one did. Now I'm going to go back in, wave it a little bit. Now I'm going to go back in with my soft seafoam. That's what I should have done. I'm going to do that again, guys. Sorry. I'm going to do that again. I create these usually like 2 weeks before I do them. Here's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to go along like this, a little light on that side. Then I'm going to come in with the soft seafoam. I think that's what I did the last time. So now I'll come down the soft seafoam right in here. Yes. And then I'll come in with the Pear Pizzazz. It looks a hot mess right now, but it will be better. And remember, start on this side. And I'm going to overlap it a little bit, and that's okay. Okay. Again, it will be fine. Okay, I did need my Pear Pizzazz. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on leaves. And I'm just going to stamp them all over the place in different directions. And I'll come back in with the, whoops, sorry. I'll come back in with the filler for it. Okay, now I'm going to come back in with the middle portion to fill that up. Okay. So now you can see it better. You can actually see the outline and the leaf itself. There goes my voice doing that thing again, like, Mr. Haney. You guys remember Green Acres? Mr. Haney? His voice would give away all the time. Thank you, allergies. Okay, let's see if I can match that one up. Woohoo, it's pretty darn close. If it doesn't match completely, it is okay. We always say it's handmade, not Hallmark, right? Okay. All right, so now I am going to bring in my little guillotine. I'm going to trim the edges off. Hold on one second. Just want to trim that dark piece right there off. There we go. I think I need to get one of those mounts to go on. Up above my head right here is the thing that my video camera's on for YouTube. I think I might have to get Roger to get me something to put there. There we go. So that it doesn't shake. All right, so now we will glue it on to our soft seafoam, which is such a pretty color. It's so subtle. It's a really pleasing color to me. And I love all these different shades of the blues and greens together. Okay, Pear Pizzazz is another one of my favorites. I don't have my bone folder handy, so I'll just use my block. Okay. Little trick when you're putting these on, if you get your corners, your opposite corners matched up, then it will match up all the way around. And it doesn't matter what size it is that you're using, it will match. No matter how big or small, it will match. All right, so I'm taking my stamp that says Just Breathe, and I'm inking it up with Pear Pizzazz. I'm not loving that. I think I might need to take a spoon to my ink pad. Try it again. Thank the Lord that our paper's double-sided, right? Okay, that's a little better. I'm going to glue it on my Pear Pizzazz. If you know me, you'll probably know that I will re-ink my pad and I will fix this because I'm a little neurotic. A little bit neurotic about being a perfectionist. Ugh. Poor Sandra, when I first started coming to her classes, I was constantly, can I have another piece of paper? I messed up. Can I have another piece of paper? No telling how many different pieces of paper she gave me in the beginning. Okay, spoon question mark? Yes. When you ink your ink pads, sometimes they can get a little juicy in places, or the ink may not be evenly distributed. If you take the back side of a plastic spoon and just rub it across one direction, it shifts the ink around, then you can move it across this direction, and it'll end up being a nice even coverage that way. All right, so I could do this way, or this way. I think I'll go this direction since I went the other direction for the other card. Yeah, just breathe. Isn't that pretty though? I love the effects of the different colors, and obviously you don't have to be perfect at it. I mean, you could tell I was not perfect at it. And you could dress it up with more embellishments, ribbon or whatever, or dress it down. You know, you wouldn't have to necessarily add as many leaves or whatever, but I just love this set, this Colorful Seasons set. It's just so pretty, and I don't have the other ones with me right now, but I just love what you can do with this set. All right, I think that's about it.